All right, so I got the spring off. It's kind of a pain because there is a detent in the very top portion of this pin. If I can, I'll probably try to take some pictures and roll them in. But there's a detent in this pin, and there's a taper in the top of this spring. So it does not want to let go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the new spring. Before I do that, let me look at the difference here. There's not too much difference in the two springs. I mean, they look exact same. So put my old spring out over there. And another thing that we had learned in some of the M9 and Benelli classes was you should always destroy your springs after you replace them. That way nobody uses them for something else. But in this case, it's the only M1 carbine I've got, and I'd like to keep the springs just in case something doesn't work. So there's our plungers back on that spring. We're good on that. The next thing here, let's take a look back at this. And remember, this was our safety spring. That's our safety detent spring. Okay, that actually came off a lot easier than what I had thought. So if we try to match this up, ooh, that looks like a good match there. That's way too big. So I'm going to say that's it right there, because that other spring is compressed. So it looks like we have this. I'm actually going to clean this out a little bit here, and I'm going to grab my scribe for that. Like I said, I took it apart earlier, and I just kind of cleaned it up because I didn't want to be hassling with it, but I didn't take the springs all apart because I didn't want to take something apart that I didn't know I had. Right now I'm just using like I said, you guys are on hat cam, and I'm just using a GoPro 2, I believe it is. That's why you got the fish in, or the fisheye look. And I've got actually a tie mic that I also got off of Amazon. So those should be pretty cleaned out. I'm just gonna grab another screwdriver, another common screwdriver here, and use it to clean out the base of those. Yeah, that'll work good. And I know everybody's gonna, if anybody watches these videos are gonna tell me, oh, you're using the screwdriver incorrectly. I was like, oh yes, I know. Trust me, I know. But common tools for an uncommon task. So that's back in there. So I'm going to go ahead and push our spring back in there, and it's quite a bit difference putting it in there. It's not as tight, so I can actually remove these a little bit better, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. This old spring, it had kind of a bend to it and everything, so I'm much happier with that. Set that off the side. So other than that, I think we're just about ready for reassembly. I'm not going to try to do it by memory because I will forget. Oh, there's one more spring I forgot. The sear spring. So here's our sear spring from inside our trigger group, and it's obvious that that's it right there. Which is odd because that sear spring is smaller, and this is the original sear spring. So we'll try that out. We'll see. This might be one that I need to keep around just in case this one doesn't, this one acts up on me. So let's get back to our page here. Flip ahead to our reassembly. And like I was saying with these pages, I don't like them because the pictures are not the greatest, and they use the same picture for the disassembly as the assembly. So yeah, they do make a real nice M1 Grand one, so I wish it was more like that. So all of our pins are reassembled. We don't have to worry about that. Attach the safety plunger and the magazine catch. Retainer on each of the springs. Insert the safety, slide plunger, and assembly into the housing until the spring plunger locks. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our safety back, and I'm going to grab, I've got some CLP somewhere around here. Our safety goes in right to left, backwards is safe, and straight down, or down is safe, straight back is fire. There's no real easy way of, or better way of actually installing it. I just, because it's all going to go in the detent regardless. Put a little COP there. I'm barely using any on these. Put a little bit there. And then there and there. These two plungers look the exact same. The only difference that I can really see in them is the wear on them. This one here is worn more on the edges. Got a light here so you can see. This one's more on the edges, so that one I feel goes towards the safety. They look exactly the same, so I wouldn't stress too much over mixing them up. So right now, yep, we're good over that. This is another one of those things that likes to go flying. There we go. So we're good over that. And we're going to get our plunger. And we're just going to put a little bit of CLP on that just to lube it up a little bit. Wipe it off here. And I'm going to put our plunger for our mag release back in there. Let's see here. We'll grab our mag release. And this one's going to be kind of tricky. The nice thing is I don't have to push in on that mag release the mag release plunger. All I'll really have to do is, I want to grab the biggest punch I can use for this, is push in on the safety detent, or the safety spring, and I'm pushing on, and I'm just slowly feeding it in there. So now the mag release is actually retaining it, and I continue pushing it, and it pushes all the way through. So there it is. That's in there. I have a lot better positive safety now. I can feel it a lot better now. It used to just kind of, you could push it, but now it's actually clicking. So that's great. I'm happy about that. Our mag release, that's working good too. Nice. All right, let me put these other guys in there. That's my sear spring. I would imagine one of these is going to be for the ejector, and another one's probably for, or the extractor, I mean. Yeah, for the extractor and the ejector. So the next step in our manual here is going to say to insert the spring plunger into the housing, depress the plunger and the side magazine catch before the plunger, pushing out the magazine catch. We already did that. Place the trigger in the housing, place the spring in the seats, in the trigger, and in the bottom of the sear, insert the pin through the trigger and the sear. So what this is telling me to do is I'm going to put the trigger into the actual frame. I'm going to insert the sear spring. I'm going to put the sear inside of, there's a little cup on the bottom of the sear, and it's going to mesh with that spring. It's going to come back, it's going to be pushed back into place, and then while I'm pushing all that back into place, I'm going to use the pin and put the pin back through. This was kind of a pain in the butt last time I did it, so we'll see how it goes with this new spring. I'd imagine the spring is going to be a little bit better because it's not as tight. So the trigger just flops right in there. What you can do, and it didn't help me out putting it through the first time, but you can feed your pin halfway through. You can put it halfway through there. I'm going to insert, and it's probably going to be a little bit hard to see. Normally I'd have a headlamp on, but can't videotape and headlamp at the same time. Just going to line this up the spring up inside of our trigger. And this was tapered on both sides as well, so there's really no right or wrong on that. So I'm going to take our sear with the cup, and I'm going to try to get it onto that spring. So I'm going to grab my punch, and I'm going to push on the front of this sear to compress that spring. And there we go. So there it goes, and that's it. That actually worked a lot better with that new spring. I still have retention on my sear and my trigger, so that's working good. I can test my safety. The interesting thing about the safety is it's just blocking that really long dog leg on the trigger itself from going down.